AITA for crying at dinner on purpose to embarrass my dad and brother? I know the title sounds ridiculous, but there's context. I'm currently in high school and I live with my dad and brother. My mom's not in the picture anymore. While I'm not very close with my father, he's not a bad dad. He's just a little old-fashioned, so he's closer to my brother. They have the same hobbies, etc. Onto the problem. I don't know how it started, but for the past couple of months both my dad and my brother will start teasing me about that time of the month, any time I even get remotely irritated or upset at them. For example, my brother ate a snack of mine that I was saving, and when I got mad he just joked, "Oh no, is it that time again?" in a super annoying voice. I've kept trying to tell them separately and together that it's really annoying and offensive. And I feel like they're totally minimizing how I feel about things I feel I had valid reasons for being annoyed about. They just brush it off even more and chalk it up to my period no matter what time of the month it is. Well, yesterday we had dinner with my whole family on my dad's side for my aunt's birthday. Before the dinner I got in a huge fight with my brother because he broke my iPad and instead of apologizing he just said the whole time of the month thing. I can admit that by the time we got to my grandma's house I was pretty pissed. My cousin asked me what was wrong during dinner, and before I could explain my brother interrupted with, "Oh, it's just lady problems." I usually just ignore him or hold things in, but I had enough and just started bawling. I can admit that I kind of went ham on purpose to cause a scene, and it freaked my whole family out. My aunt asked my dad why I was so upset, and when he didn't know I told my aunt, "It's just lady reasons," according to dad and brother. My aunt and grandma were pissed at my dad and brother and they totally got reamed at the dinner table. It was a whole thing, and I could tell they were super embarrassed. Later that night my brother and dad said I was an awe for causing a scene and embarrassing them. But I said that I was just acting like how I always say I do. I guess I didn't have to do it during dinner. But it wasn't like I planned it. If they are embarrassed about people finding out how they treat you, then they shouldn't treat you that way. You should let them know that if they call you an awe again. NTA. You asked them to stop. They didn't. They needed to hear from others how out of line they were being. This is their own fault for being insensitive and sexist. If they don't stop, sounds like you have some family to back you up. Many years ago, I made a remark to my wife about a female coworker who was particularly irritable that day. I associated it with that day of the month in a similarly disrespectful way as you describe it. Here, my wife unscrewed my head and screwed it back on the right way. I painfully remember this after literally several decades because it was so embarrassing. Already back then, however, I knew that I, and nobody else, was responsible for the embarrassment. Lesson learned. Perhaps your father and brother should develop a little humility. NTA. I am so sorry you are stuck living with these two cavemen. Hopefully you don't have too much longer in high school, given that's all I have to go on for your age. And your family obviously sucks. I'm not going to judge against you for this. I hope Aunt still enjoyed her birthday, and that you get a new iPad. NTA. It was a family dinner and you don't need to use your company manners. And I love it that your dad got reamed out by his mother. Your aunt and grandma are the best. Maybe you should spend more time at grandma's house. NTA and BAWHAHAHAHA op, you called them on their misogynistic BS. They were disrespecting you, using weapons that are hard for a young woman to battle against. They never should have done this to you. You are right for what you did, for you pushed to the end of your rope and you didn't know what else. 2. I get that. Good luck and I hope things get better. Heart. Aunt and grandma. Op. It doesn't matter what time of the month it is. Your feelings are always valid. Don't let them convince you otherwise. NTA. NTA. I mean, who breaks someone's property and then starts gaslighting you instead of admitting they did something wrong? Your dad and your brother are massive Oz and they deserve to be embarrassed. NTA. They tried to embarrass you in front of your whole family and expected you to just let it slide? They just got a taste of your own medicine. NTA. If they didn't want to talk about it, they shouldn't be saying it. Can't be mad your behavior was broadcast when you choose to act like a jerk. Glad you have strong women in your life who can back you up. NTA. I'm sorry, but your dad is a bad dad. This behavior from both him and your brother is nowhere near acceptable. It's bullying, and it's abuse. I want you to stop and ask yourself why you are minimizing his behavior by calling him a little old-fashioned. These people are choosing to ignore your emotions completely and minimize the hurt and damage they're doing to you under the premise that you're unreasonably upset due to your hormones. Your dad knows exactly what he's doing, and that's why he did not even try to use the quote hormones excuse in front of your aunt. He tried to feign complete ignorance because he knows that your hormones aren't the problem. This is a tactic to train you to be silent when things get on your nerves. This is also a tactic to teach you to be accepting of their disrespect. Regardless of what time of the month you're going through, you deserve respect and your emotions deserve to be validated. A pregnant woman who has a crying fit over peanut butter dropping on her shoes also deserves to be validated in the moment. No one deserves to have the emotions invalidated except Karens. NTA. If they're so embarrassed by their own comments that they don't want your aunt or grandma hearing them, why should they be so comfortable saying those things to you? NTA. And honestly, it sounds like you might be able to confide in your female relatives if this continues and gain some outside support, pressure to put a stop to it. This is inappropriate father-daughter banter and is very dismissive to you. You told them and they were being assholes. Like, seriously, what kind of person would break something and not apologize? You seem more mature than the two of them. I'm glad it came out the way it did so they know how they treat you. Going forward, if they continue, maybe you can stay with someone else. Their behavior is toxic and childish. I love how the ladies in your family have your back and chewed your dad and brother a new one. Yeesh. What a couple of Oz. NTA. Your dad needs to check himself Abid than your brother. They are being nasty and deserve to have it brought up when you have backup. I hope they were embarrassed enough to give some thought to their behavior. And that your brother has to replace your tablet. NTA. And girl, I am officially your biggest fan. NTA. Good for you, op. Hands clapping light skin tone. Hands clapping light skin tone. NTA. My favorite answer, I can get mad any time of the month because you can be a jerk any time of the month. This reminds me of those two teen girls walking through the mall holding hands near Christmas when one of those Salvation Army donation collectors started harassing them about how gays will all burn in hell. So one of them just starts full-on sobbing in the middle of the mall. Starts a big scene until security escorts all the Salvation Army folks out. Sometimes crying is a necessary weapon. And boy, did you wield it well. NTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.